Everyone, it's me, Sade Burrell. Stand for something. Hey, I just wanted to bring another video giving some advice to doctoral students. This is my first year in a doctoral program. I'm learning so much. So I figured you should share information. That is the best way, because I know when it was time for me to go to a doctoral program, it wasn't a lot of information on YouTube. Maybe there was, but I wasn't seeing the videos. They just weren't popping up. It was usually the same videos from the same people, or it just wasn't a lot of information out there. So the title of this video is Plan Your Study Sessions. Plan your study sessions. So it's going to be 3 things that I believe that you should do as a doctoral student for every study session that you do. All right, the first thing is you should always have a purpose. Second thing is you should always have a goal. And the last thing is you should always have an outcome because of those 2 things that I mentioned. So let's get into it. So why should you have a purpose with your study session? Well, one, you need to know what you're doing. like the purpose of me reading these articles is not because the professor told me I had to read them. The purpose is so I can abstract information and use it for my dissertation, or the purpose of me reading this is so that I can contribute to class discussion. Here are the 3 things that I learned from this particular reading. So it's important for you to know what exactly is the purpose of what you're doing. So the way my routine goes when I study is I use FocusMate, focusmate.com. And in FocusMate, you start off by telling them what your goal is, like what the goal is. But I had to realize, it's a step before you set a goal. It's actually understanding the purpose of it. Because I started realizing that people had a goal, and then at the end, we would check the outcome. Like, hey, how did you do? I said this was my goal. But some people say, I'm just doing this, or I'm doing. They didn't really have a real purpose. And I realized that the people who didn't have a solid purpose and why they were doing certain things, those were the ones who at the end, their goal either wasn't met or not to the level that they wanted to. All right, so let's get into it. So again, I need you to have a purpose for what your study session. Maybe the purpose of this study session is so that you can understand a certain theory even better and put a theory into practice. So with EDD programs, it's mostly about taking theories and immediately implementing those theories. So that's why we work a lot of times full time. So your job is your playground. So my job is my playground. So a lot of times it's best when you're in an EDD program and you work in the field that you are potentially interested in. Even if it's a little bit, doesn't mean it has to be a lot, but you're somewhat interested in it. All right, now I actually do believe that plays a part in people being accepted into doctoral programs. If they're working in a completely different field that has absolutely nothing to do with what they put on the paper, then it's kind of like, okay, well then how can they get in that field? Well, some people will argue, well, the reason why I'm going to the doctoral program is so that I can get into the field that I want. And this is just my belief, my opinion, take it or leave it. I believe that a doctoral program elevates your thinking. It elevates your ability to be a leader. It challenges you. And so, but you have to be ready to accept those challenges. How do you accept challenges if the one challenge of you getting into the field that you desperately want to get into, you haven't accomplished that challenge? So what exactly does that mean? I would say that a doctoral degree does not make you the person. You are the person who just happens to be earning a doctoral degree. So I would say really try to get into that field to help you understand what your purpose is. Because then when you go to your study sessions, my topic is foster youth. So I'm always, every paper, every assignment, every discussion, every study session, I know what to connect it to. I don't read for fun. I read with a purpose. And that's why I need you to read with a purpose. Write with a purpose. Everything should have a purpose. Now it doesn't mean you sit down and you write, my purpose is. No, it just means, okay, I know that the purpose of me reading this article is because I need to abstract something that's going to help me at this particular section in my dissertation. So for example, I was studying, I got my notes right here. I was just studying right before I got on here, but this organizational resilience. I was studying that, and I understand what resilience and resiliency is, but I didn't understand how does that correlate with an organization. And then when I started learning about it, I said, oh, bang, that's the purpose. The purpose of me reading this article is, one, so I can understand more about this particular theory and how I can put it into practice. And two, the purpose of me doing this is because I'm adding this to my literature review. I'm adding it to my literature review. So I think that is something that I have a purpose for everything I'm doing. People say, well, what I love about my program is that every assignment that we do has a purpose. Every assignment has a purpose. So why would my study sessions not have a purpose? Let's get into the second thing, goal. What is the goal of the study session? Now, some people study 25 minutes, take a 10-minute break, then another 25 minutes. I study 50 minutes, take a 10-minute break, and then do another 50 minutes. I'd probably do that about 3 cycles maybe. So a total a little under 3 hours. That works best for me. So my goal, I have realistic goals, not unreal. So this morning when I was studying, I was preparing for a presentation. And I said, my goal is to get 5 slides done. Not 20, not 50, 5 slides, 5 solid slides. And that's what I did. I accomplished the goal. There are some writing sessions where my goal is 1 paragraph. For 50 minutes, my goal is 1 paragraph. People say, well, that's kind of, it's not. I would not set myself up and say I'm going to write 3 paragraphs in 50 minutes. No, 1 solid, great, amazing, phenomenal paragraph is what you're going to get out of this. Because I need, not only am I writing, but I'm checking APA format. I'm ensuring that I have, everything aligned. I have punctuation and all that stuff. I got my verbs and all this. I want to make sure I have everything right in that paragraph. That's a solid paragraph. So it's not just me writing 5 to 7 sentences. It's so much more that goes into it. And like I said, when you have APA format, you have to check that. If you're quoting people, you got to make sure you have certain things correct. You got to make sure you have the right page number. If you're summarizing or paraphrasing or whatever it may be, you have to make sure your APA format's on point. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go back and fix it. And for those of us who are limited on time, which most doctoral students are, we don't have time for that. We don't have time to be going back all the time, correcting things that we should have done on the first, second, or maybe even third try. That's all I'm saying. It works best that way. So, okay. So now let me get into it again. All right. Even more. The outcome. What are you going to get out of this? Okay. So the purpose of me putting together my presentation, the purpose was really, I needed to get this assignment done and to connect it to my dissertation. And I wanted to learn a new skill set. We were doing, and I may be pronouncing this correctly, Ignite or something like that. It's when you do 20 slides and you have 15 seconds per slide, which means it's a total of 5-minute presentation. And so the purpose is for me to nail this down, because if I can nail down this presentation, I can teach people about this particular theory and how I plan on putting it into practice. I'm like, that's perfect. It's teaching me to hurry up and get to the point, because one of our biggest problems is that we don't hurry up and get to the point. And so I'm like, the purpose is so I can learn this skill, so I can actually take it when I go on stage and hit the point quicker, clearer, and faster. All right. So again, the outcome. What's the outcome? The outcome is you're going to complete the 5 slides. The goal. The goal is to complete 5 slides. So we got the purpose, the goal. The goal is, I said the goal right out. The goal is to complete 5 slides. The outcome, I was able to complete the 5 slides, and I had quality work. So I had a purpose, I had a goal, and I had an outcome. That's how I set up my study sessions. So it's important for you to understand your routine. Also, in my study sessions, I have to have if it's 4:30 in the morning, because I study at 4:30 in the morning, I have to have my candles. I invest in candles. I have my candles set up. I have the mood right. I have to have the mood right. I can't just be studying in any type of environment. So, because I'm studying at home, Perhaps when I go to the library, of course, I can't just go and grab candles, start setting up my candles in the libraries. So I'm sure, but that it's like I play basketball. So in basketball, when you shoot at the free throw line, everyone have a ritual that they do. So mine was 1, 2. I'll bounce the ball 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then 1 bounce. Now do another bounce. Bang. So it's a total of 3 bounces together. Do a practice one, then bounce again, and then bang, it went off. So you had to have you had to have a certain like regiment, right? Ritual that you do. And that's the same thing I have with studying. It's no different than playing a sport. I just don't I just don't show up to the free throw line. Like it was a boom, 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 shot in. Same thing with studying. So how I study at home is different than how I study in the library. So again, this is Plan Your Study Sessions. I hope you got some value out of this. And you all have a great one. God bless you. It's me, Sade Burrell. Stand for something.